This year, those looking to vote Democrat in Lysander will find it's a lot less easy than just grabbing your ballot and filling it out along your party lines. This year, voters in Lysander looking to vote for Democrats will have to remember the names of each of the candidates and write it in, making it that much harder for them to get elected. Currently, New York State distracted driving law applies only to electronic devices, meaning you can't be texting or holding a phone up to your ear while you're driving. By taking a STEM approach to education, the faculty here at ESM ensure that students have skills that will transfer from one medium and over to another. Anyone who's been driving in winter knows just how big these trucks are. But few realize just how hard it is for them to see other drivers around them on the road. It's Space Week at the Museum of Science and Technology in Syracuse, where they've rolled out several new demonstrations in honor of the movie Hubble, which is coming to IMAX here, and I'm here with Maria Welch, head of PR for the MOST. Now, Maria, what new exhibits have you rolled out for the kids and the patrons to come see?
Well, we have a lot of demonstrations that are focused on space, just to tie into the movie, which Hubble is all about space, obviously. It's the first space telescope that was around Earth.
Now, it's winter break, and there are, just swarms of kids walking around the museum. How great is it for you to see kids getting out, seeing the demonstrations, and really getting interested in science?
Oh, it's wonderful. The MOST is all about teaching kids about science and getting them interested in science, because the MOST is where real science comes to play. And we want kids to get excited about science and consider it for a career.
Thank you, Maria. Be sure to check out Space Week at the MOST, which runs through this Sunday. For News Channel 9, I'm Andrew Troast. A new warning today for U.S. airlines from Homeland Security. They've received intelligence that terrorists may be trying to smuggle explosives onto planes by putting them in shoes or putting liquid explosives in cosmetics. Officials admit they don't have a specific plot, just credible intelligence from overseas sources. The warm weather in the forecast for the next few days has Ithaca putting neighbors on alert for flooding. The melting ice and rain could cause flooding along creeks, just like earlier this year when an ice jam, followed by melting ice, flooded homes around the Cascadilla Creek. Ithaca officials encourage people to monitor the water levels, check their sump pumps regularly, and call the city if they see any flooding. The colder than usual weather this year is taking its toll on farmers and beekeepers, but help could be on the way. Under the new farm bills, farmers who saw extensive damage to their trees or vines, including damage from the cold, could get aid from the Tree Assistance Program. That could also apply to beekeepers who lost honeybees. The USDA would first have to declare a state of disaster, and that will have to wait until spring when farmers know exactly how widespread and severe the damage is. Lots of folks are still talking about last night's basketball game. Syracuse's 25-game winning streak is now over, and the top-ranked Orange were shocked by the Boston College Eagles. With former SU great Pearl Washington looking on, there were no last-second miracles for SU. We pick up the action in the final seconds, all tied at 52. Syracuse with a chance to win it. Rakeem Christmas with the hook shot, but it doesn't fall. Syracuse lost in overtime, 62-59. It's a day like any other at this library, but when school lets out on the west side of Syracuse, kids start booking it to the Mundy branch for a fun twist on reading. For the last several years, the Mundy branch has been holding picture book bingo to help interest younger children in reading outside of school hours. Branch manager Dawn Marmor sees games like bingo as a good way to keep kids reading, even as trends change.
They're not so inclined to pick up a book and read it from cover to cover, but they will read for information. They read a lot more like graphic sort of novels, picture books than they used to a long time ago. So it fits with the technology.
The Mundy Library branch acts as something of a community center in the troubled West Side, a place for kids to stay off the street and be productive.
We are a sort of a safe place for the children after school. They come in here, they know they're treated with respect, that it's warm, there's water, there's a bathroom, there's lots of fun things to do here, reading, video games, and it's the social interaction that they have with their friends and the staff, I think, that really attracts them.
Michael Terry runs the bingo and encourages the kids to expand their horizons.
Nice to see them reading somewhat, but just knowing that it's helping them in some way, it's pretty good, rather than just sitting in front of the computer all day.
The staff provide even more programs for kids and teens to stay involved at this branch, where it's never a bad thing to have a case of the Mundys.
Bingo!
Reporting for NCC News, I'm Andrew Troast. The words, "I will not be complacent today," greet officers as they leave the DeWitt Police Department. And as the nationwide campaign against distracted driving begins today, the words are as important as ever. Police reports list driver distraction consistently atop the causes of accidents on New York roadways. Between April 10th and 15th, police around the nation are mobilizing to make their presence felt on the roads and educate the public as to the dangers of driving while distracted.
Our goal is awareness and education first and enforcement last, really. We don't want to have to write these tickets because if we do, it means people aren't following the law, which puts everyone on the road in danger. The less tickets we write, the better, in honesty.
Federal safety authorities warn that text messaging behind the wheel makes an accident 23 times more likely, and even talking on the phone can impair concentration to the level of someone under the influence of alcohol. Currently, New York State distracted driving law applies only to electronic devices, meaning you can't be texting or holding a phone up to your ear while you're driving. However, mounted devices like a GPS or a hands-free talking system are perfectly allowed. Texting behind the wheel has been illegal in New York State since 2009, but distracted driving from the use of electronics remains a major cause of accidents on roadways. In 2013, tickets giving out for texting behind the wheel rose by more than 15,000 from the previous year. Governor Cuomo says this increased enforcement, along with steep fines and penalties, will discourage the dangerous activity.
It's going to take years of this kind of enforcement, just like seatbelt enforcement took years until it kind of gets ingrained in the culture, and it just becomes an accepted thing that you put your seatbelt on, you don't talk on the phone when you're driving, that kind of stuff.
Today through April 15th, police across the county will be out watching to make sure that drivers are keeping their eyes where they ought to be, on the road. Andrew Troast reporting, NCC News.